everybody, it's Jerry here from the Military Collectibles Shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with another episode of What's New at the Military Shop. So, although this week we still haven't been super busy because we're kind of in the dead of winter, we have gotten a few things in, and some interesting things that I thought I'd share with you. So, let's see what we got. First up, we had gotten one of these in the week before, I think. But this is actually a early Marine Corps upper backpack. So the interesting thing about this one is it is the earlier style, the P41 version, I believe. So earlier lighter tan colors. I believe these are all depot made. But a nice piece to find. And the other nice thing about this one is it's actually named to the Marine. So a little bit of research potential, which you know we always love. The more history we can add to the item, the more interesting the item becomes. Staying with the Corps, we just picked up what are commonly known as the K-bar knives, technically known as the Mark II knives. This one is Marine Corps marked, guard marked, versus the earlier ones being blade marked. This one's Camillus made, USMC. In a nice, worn, used, but still solid leather scabbard. So these are always popular with collectors, as they were with the Marines in World War II. Got him some nice photos. This one I'm going to be keeping for my own collection is a World War II Coast Guard lady. I forget what the Coast Guard ladies are called. Spars? Something. I'll find out. But nice uniform shot, and a World War I aviator photo. Lieutenant Donald S. Polar. So nice aviation picture. Always good, like photos. They help us document the history of things. Had some interesting pieces come in. A guy came in with a bunch of uniform bits. You could tell these were removed from a Ike jacket. A lot of times the Ike jackets may be moth-holed or torn or stained, and so people remove the insignia. Generally, leave that up to us, because if you find an Ike jacket, even if it has moth holes, sometimes we can actually salvage that, and let us make the decision before you strip off everything and throw the Ike jacket in the garbage. Because for us, an attributed piece is worth more than unattributed insignia. But some nice insignia came with it. We did get some German pieces. A World War II German Iron Cross Second Class. A German Social Welfare Medal, a German West Wall Medal, a German War Merit Medal. Not the most exciting. But the interesting thing about these is, as a group, and Mark pointed this out to me, he's like, those are in such nice condition, and with the smaller ribbons, these probably came off one of those German salesman sample boards. And it's like, oh yeah. They're called salesman sample boards by collectors, but actually what I think they were is after the war, they put together these boards of insignia to sell to the GIs, actually, and each one identified the particular medal. And then there was a list of what the medals were in the back, and the GIs could get those. So kind of interesting, and again, nice conditioned items, always good to find. Sticking in the German range. We had gotten a German fireman's bayonet. Now, technically, this is a dagger because there really is no provision to mount it on a weapon. So this is technically known as a fireman's dagger, although collectors and myself tend to refer to them as fireman's bayonets. But a nice, clean example worn by the German firemen. We also have a nice German Army parade bayonet. Another one with the associated knot, or portopee. The knots were kind of a throwback to the medieval times, when knights on horseback would actually tie their swords to their wrists, so if it was struck from their hand, they didn't have to stop the horse, get off, get their sword, and put it back. So this is just kind of a dress carryover of that sort of thing. But a nice German bayonet. Staying in the bayonet world, we got in a couple of the M1 Grand bayonets. These are the 10-inch versions, World War II. This one's dated 1943. marked for American Fork and Hoe. And because the groove runs all the way through the tip, that tells us that this one was actually shortened from a longer one during the war, as we had told you about in our previous episode. This is another one by UC, Union Cutlery, I believe, made these. But nice, solid, bayonets. Going a little later, at the end of the war, they came out with the M4 bayonet. The interesting thing about this one is it was kind of a conglomeration between the M3 knife, fighting knife, and a bayonet. So these were used on the carbine. Damn you, COVID. 3, 2. These were actually used on the carbine rifle, and they were designed to be used both as a fighting knife and as a bayonet for mounting on the carbine. So the M4s, those are always nice to find. That they're kind of coming into their own in the collector world now. So always nice to find. And then a little later, we see kind of a similar design with the improvements. And these are the M7s. These were used on the M16 rifles, starting in Vietnam. And a lot of the same things that we see on the M4 bayonet. A lot of same design, almost the identical blade. Some enhancements to the scabbard, like the reinforcement to the metal tip, so that doesn't break. Again, nice pieces. We can sell bayonets all day long, so it's always great when we find nice clean bayonets. Talking about Vietnam, we got a nice Vietnam helmet. A little worn, a little chewed up, missing the inner tie in the liner, but that's okay. It's a nice solid piece. Now here's another interesting piece. On first blush, a lot of people think, oh, that's an American M1 helmet. Haha, you'd be wrong. This is actually an Israeli helmet, and if the Hebrew inside the liner doesn't give it away, the 3-point suspension, this extra little loop, that's the dead giveaway that this is not a U.S. helmet. That the Israelis came up with their own design, with the 3-point suspension and chin cup. So, but a nice helmet, and great for collectors and Israeli IDF reenactors. Nice pieces to find. So that was kind of a whirlwind tour of the stuff that came in this week. We have gotten several calls and several other couple collections we're looking at. So I hope there'll be more for you to look at next week as we continue another episode of What's New at the Military Shop. So as always, we appreciate the comments. Thanks for the emails and the criticisms. That's fine. We can take it. We've got big shoulders. We love to hear from you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Hi, I'm Jerry Duchek, and this is my new book, In the Service of Our Country, The History of the United States Service Flag, where I cover the entire history of the unique U.S. service flag in words and pictures. So lots of great pictures, 348 pages, hardbound. This is a great book for any home front collector or anybody interested in the pageantry and patriotism of the service flag. So keep them flying. Signed copies can be obtained by the author upon request.